So hi guys, hope you are doing great. Welcome to the live. So today we are discussing about SQL and how do you crack your SQL assessment. So this is a typical workflow where you have we have couple of databases. So we will create. We won't see any creation of databases, but we will see how to create a table and how do you select and all those different queries that you will use predominantly in your test. So let me quickly run through a couple of things. So first we'll see how to create. Okay. So how do you create queries? Okay. And sorry, how to create tables. So once that thing is done, once you create tables, we will use select or we will insert. We'll insert a couple of records and we will see like how things are going and we'll move from there. And the third one is how do you kind of select different various options when you use select and other things. And the third one is the fourth one is how do you update things. Okay, we might skip this part, so not sure how do you do that. And then we will finally see how to delete table and drop the table. So those are the things that we would see in this live. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. So let's start then. So once this is a Microsoft SQL Server. So if you don't have any SQL Server, it is absolutely fine. You can use the I will be using T-SQL. So if you are using Microsoft SQL Bench, MySQL Bench, it is absolutely fine. Most of the syntax will be the same, but there would be minor changes. So make sure that you use MySQL. It's not a big deal. So most will be the same. Okay. So I'll quickly show you how do you get SQL Server on HackerRank. You have this HackerRank, right? You have shells. You can do whatever you want, but we'll go to the SQL queries, and there are a couple of queries which I have been solving. So just go to anyone which you like. So you have couple of databases or the database which you want to use. So there is MySQL, there is DB2, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. So this is the one that we are using. Okay, so most of the things would be the same, but there might be some differences to of the query looks like. Okay, so make sure that you use MySQL. So MySQL and Microsoft SQL Server mostly will be the same. Okay, the only difference you will have is you have to go to the end of the query, so or a semicolon would do. So make sure that you have that. With that said, so if you are or if you want to practice after this live, right? So you can go to SQL Server and weather observation. You have stations. You have a lot of exercises on this. So basic select you have coupled. So make sure that you at least complete the basic level to make sure that you will definitely clear this. So solving this station problem would be right to get you started. So solve all the 12 or whatever the number of problems that they have. So make sure that you solve it. So jumping onto the code, so we have couple of databases. Okay, so will try to join this customer table which has which has couple of details like customer ID, first name, last name, email ID, password, address, and blah blah blah, and a lot of things. So let me quickly and we will see we have a loan table, right? Uh, so loan table we have couple. So loan ID, loan type, loan amount, loan paid, start date, and reminder status, and customer ID. So we have a couple over here as well. So we will try to join this and see how if you want to take like what are the people who have taken loan from a particular bank. So you will use joins to see or filter out how many people have taken up loans or how many people have had credit cards and other details. So transaction table and other details that they would have. So we will do this shortly. So we'll move again to creating a small table. Okay. So we'll create a student table. Okay. So we have a student table. Okay. So typically, what a student will have is a student ID. So this can be like just an ID, or you want to specify whatever you want. So the main thing is you have to declare this as a primary key. So to make sure that things are working fine, and you have to put as a non-nullable field. Okay, and you have to do an auto increment. So if you want to uh, make sure the field is working fine, you can do auto increment, or else you can definitely upgrade you can even pass the ID for yourself, so you don't have to auto increment things. Okay. So that said, we have the student name. Okay, that would be varchar. So varchar is string field, so 50 characters long and not null. So this is what we have. So student name, there might be a mark field where you will have student mark. So if you can just put it as student name, it is fine. So there are some reserved keywords in in SQL. So if you have name uh, on that, then it would be more easier for you to uh, take up the mark field. So mark we will have. So for the mark field, right, we would declare, we have the name, we have, we will just let it as mark, and we will put it in a character field. Or if you want to have an integer, it is absolutely you can put it in integer. But you will use the entire thing when you go into the server, right? So that you know that. So with that said, we have couple of fields to add. So varchar not null. So we have the name. So this is a reserved keyword, I guess. So if you are highlighted like this in blue, so I think this would be quite difficult sometimes. So I hope you can see it now. So I think it was too small to see for some. So let this primary key be there. Okay. So you can add constraint to it. Make sure that it is not null field. Let's see if this clears this error. So correct syntax. So let's make sure that at least we get the primary key. So no, auto increment can be done. So if you are creating with the table designer tool, you can definitely do it. Or else you have this table names, right? So we can even use this to make sure that everything is working fine. So we have the name, we have the mark, we have what else? We'll have CGPA, and we'll put that in the var field as well. So we'll just give it 10. You can put it in the integer as well. So that's up to you. So whatever you want, you can put it over there. That can be integer, that can be a float or anything. So once you have that, right, so make sure that you create student table. So make sure that you at least add table so that you don't get confusing with all the table names. So make sure that it ends with the table. So you don't have to do it, but it is good, it is typically a good practice to make sure that you have a table. Right. So once that is done, quickly run through it and see no commands completed successfully. So once I refresh this DB, right, so I should see the students table created at the end. So you can see here there is a student table created. So next we will insert a few things. Okay, so insert into what the table name you want to insert. We want to put it in the students, and what are the fields that we have is a student ID, we have a name, we have mark and CGP. So the first thing, student ID, we had the name, we had the mark and CGP. So and you have to have these values which will take all the values and add it to the field. Okay, so student ID is one, and the name whatever you have is your name, maybe Santosh, uh, and the mark you can put it as 95. I wouldn't say that I would score 95 all the time, but so this is my original CGPA. So, so I think that's it for. So make sure that you have single values inside this one. Okay. So once that is done, you will execute this query to make sure that everything is executed. So you can see one row affected. So that means that we have inserted something into the table. So let's quickly jump into the table and select all the records or from the students table whatever we have. Let's see, and then so you can see that this has been updated with an ID. We have the name, we have the mark, and the CGPA. Okay. So this is what has been updated. So you can see the single row has been selected, and this is the message. So you can definitely see and check out what you will get after CGP and the students and other things. Okay, so once that is done, you can definitely add whatever the number you might have. Okay, so you can definitely do that. So we'll quickly do a join. Okay, and then we'll delete the table and wind up. So we have, so what we have to do is we have to join the customer table with the loan table. So let's see what are the customers that have loans. Okay, so we have customers table which is we'll put a alias as C. Okay, we'll just have their names, and let's from customer table so that we will get the intelligence as C, and first name. So we have first name and last name. So we'll try to print that out, and we will see what is their account balance or age, or we have couple of fields, so occupation or any detail that you want to see. So we'll just see their email ID, or the email ID is not too much informative, so we'll see their annual income what it is. So join okay, so we'll just do a join with this loan table. Okay, um, so we have the loan table as well. Uh, SL on L dot. So you have customer ID over here. Okay, have the customer ID on this field as well. So this is what we are gonna get. We are gonna just select the number of people who are having their loans. Here that you select. So these are the guys who have no loans. So we can make sure that these are the only guys that have loans with our bank. So select star from no. You have to print the entire customer table to see it. So actually we don't see any details of loan payment. So we might get only the loan IDs. Okay. So with loan IDs it is not meaningful. That is why we have a command to do that. So these are the customer IDs. Okay. So these are the customer IDs that would have these people. Okay. So if we see we have this customer, right? So customer has an ID of 12470010. So let's quickly scoop out customer from the table and see what we have. So we'll select all the three and we will execute all three so that so this is the customer 10, right? So uh, we have the 10. Okay, we have the 10 over here. So this is someone who has Rishita has got some has some loan with our bank. So this is how you verify that your query has worked perfectly. So we have the Rishita at the top and we have our ID on the top as well. So 10 is what we have. So you can filter with any number of things. So you can filter with annual income or you can do any kind of filtering over there. So we'll just do an order by. Okay. So order by what is their age. So by the customer's age we would do an order and see what how so this was listening under Siraj is the top. So he's the youngest one. So this is at the end. So she is the oldest one. So this is how you filter or you filter these things. So these are the basic that they would ask. So make sure that you at least have these basics, right? So that you will definitely crack the exam. So we have this student table. So we'll quickly see how to delete the student table. So once you delete the table, right, with delete command, delete table or delete student table, right? So let's see what you get. So under affected, so this says that the only the table has been deleted. Sorry, the only the values that are inside the table has been deleted, right? So if you want to delete the entire table from the schema in the sense from the entire database, you will use drop to drop table and table name. So you can see that we still have the table name in our intelligence. So um, so once you do that, you won't be able to see any details over here, right? So let's execute commands completed successfully. So let's execute this again and see invalid object student table. So when you do a refresh, you won't see any table name students anymore in this database. So this is how, guys, some of the basics how to insert multiple rows in a single insert command. So there are a couple of ways to do that. You can check that out on other platforms, or I'll just show you how to do that. So we have just deleted our two student table, so we'll just quickly create it. So we have this insert, right? So after this insert, what you do is you add another student. So what you add is Steve maybe. He gets 78 marks, and his CGPA is around 8.7 or something. So this is just a mere number. So let's see, the primary constraint cannot insert duplicate key. So make sure that you don't have duplicates. So we have the primary key as a duplicate. So make sure that you delete you don't have it. So two rows affected. So once you select this, you will see two things has been added. So this is how you select two values, or you insert two things in the same query. So this is how you do it. So I think it's done for the day. So make sure that you at least practice with HackerRank, whichever is comfortable with you. So and let's practice and crack this exam. So yeah. So I hope I'll drop this code on my GitHub so you can refer it in the future. So if you want to just I'm leaving it on GitHub. So make sure that you check it out. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out later. So I think that's it, guys. So take care, stay safe. So we'll catch you on the next live on Sunday. We'll talk about freelancing and how do you get your first freelancing job.